Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the TakeOver Racing League for the opening round of Season 6 here in Mexico. Of course, last season ended a few weeks ago, and we are back now to get underway for a brand new championship. New drivers in new cars are ready to get underway for what should be a very exciting first week of racing. And we're getting again underway here, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for the Mexican Grand Prix. First two cars on the way out on the racetrack already. One of them, the AlphaTauri of Watson there. Of course, new driver allowance for this season. Of course, the big question is, will anyone be able to match Mercedes this season? Imrie now over at the Mercedes team alongside defending champion Orion Lemons, who won a record 8 out of 12 races last season and is nearing the top of the win list overall in TakeOver Racing League history, chasing JT for the most victories in the running. But we do also have a return tonight of our former two-time champion Smoking Cheese in the Aston Martin alongside Bold Beast, who also contended quite well in Season 5. A number of good lineups on the grid for this new season. Keep an eye out for the Ferraris, JT and C110P fan. Unfortunately, JT not with us tonight. Michael Dixie in his place. I assume that's how we say his name. I'd like to figure that out if I can. Reserved for tonight, but fan in the car and looking to try and make his way through the order today. And Wardy and 10th Cannon, the McLaren, that's also a good lineup to be looking out for. So many stories coming into this new season. 18 cars as it stands right now on the grid. We'll see if we can do, if we can try and get some more reserves in, but it's not looking like we will for the time being. So we'll keep an eye out for that if any more cars join during the session. A Sea of Alfa Romeo, Sea of Haas still on offer here as Imrie comes through the last corner to complete his outlap and start the first timed lap of the season. So here he goes across the line into a long run down towards turn 1, one of the longest of the season. Huge opportunity to overtake with the DRS should we get it later on in the race, hitting over 200 miles an hour before he even reaches that first braking zone, coming towards that first corner. Here he comes out into the braking zone, nice and smooth, missing the curves there, missing the apex just a little bit, going a bit too far over there. He's invalidated already. Will he back off? I think he will. Oh, no, sorry, he looks like he's carrying on back over to the right hand side and back on the DRS again, comes towards turn number 4. Very tight left hander going into almost an immediate right. So into the corner he comes this time. He does hit his apex very well indeed. He's reached the end of that first sector. He's going for the second one now and just seeing what he can pull off. So now into the next right hander. Good exit from the Mercedes man. Going towards this very technical next section on the circuit. A series of lefts and rights. Constant chicanes coming at you throughout the remainder of the second sector. Coming towards that split once more. DRS back in deployment. There's 3 DRS zones on the circuit. He makes his way down towards that split, 57.6, his second split, and into the stadium section for the first time here on the timed run. Good exit through there and coming to that last corner. That will be invalid. We'll have a look at what the first time is the banker lap is for Imrie to try and beat next time around. That first time is a 1 minute 17.1, and behind him, that's Watson in the AlphaTauri, who may have been passed by BT, one of the debutants tonight. Watson comes through towards the line. He's also invalidated, so we're still waiting a bit longer for someone to set the first valid lap of the season here. Michael goes invalid as well, so we'll look to the Alfa Romeo of Emilia Surd on the way to that last corner. So the last turn of the lap is valid. So coming through the first valid lap of the season then is Emilia Surd in the Alfa Romeo. Fastest there, 1 minute 17.1, around the same sort of pace as Imrie's time on the last lap, so good time for other drivers to try and beat. 28.2 for Imrie in his first sector this time around. Keeping that valid this time. It's been nice and smooth on his way through. Oh, a bit wide there, almost a bit wide. He almost lost the car. He's managed to go with it and coming towards that next split, 56.5, and that's going to be a good split to beat as Tommy and Critical Skills go second and third, 1 minute 17.6 and 0.7. Lazy Tom in the AlphaTauri going third, and Lemons, the reigning champion, goes fastest by a good second or a half there. So Lemons now on top, but can Imrie try and top him here? Over the line he comes, not quite, about a tenth off of his teammate. But as I said, those silver arrows are going to be very strong over the course of this season and tonight in particular. So we'll see just how they get on here. The next few cars coming towards the line. Watson in his AlphaTauri and over the line, enough for P8, the slowest time we've seen so far. Wardy invalidating. Here comes 10th Cannon towards the line, puts himself up into P8 just above Watson. Of course, he's on the medium tyres, so potentially could see a faster lap from him later on. But a solid start. Here's C110P fan who's employing his usual strategy of starting qualifying on the medium tyres, set a banker lap. Of course, some of you may have seen him in RDL in recent weeks. Loving to do that, especially as he always does. And we'll see how he gets on here on his first timed run. Yellow flag behind him. I believe that's Lemons slowing up just a bit. Actually, that might be Imri because he's the one behind. Regardless, Fan pushing on here. Undeterred, but I thought the other Mercedes now far behind him, making full use of the track as he makes his way towards the split. 57.3, so not quite as quick as that Mercedes pair. Bit of work to do in this final sector if he wants a chance at swiping a spot up on the front row. If he can, those two quite a way in front as it stands. It's 1.2 back to third place as Boom Beam retires on the main straight here. Unsure as to what's happened for the Alpine driver as Fan goes across the line to take away P3. He's a second off, and that's on the medium tyres. That's a nasty looking jump for Boom Beam there on his TRL debut tonight as well. A lot of debutants in the order. So unfortunate start to his race weekend here. I have to see if his Thursday night can get any better. Fan though in third, about a second off those guys as it stands right now. Smoking Cheese, the season 2 and 3 champion, now on an outlap. Of course, beat Fan to the title in season 2, tied on points, but he won it by a virtue of race victories. And season 3 battled JT for the title. The two previous champions went head to head. Cheese emerging victorious on that occasion once again, and now looking to try and stake his claim once again here in season 6. We've seen 2 champions have been crowned since then. Atom winning in season 4 and Lemons last season, who looks on course to try and repeat that title. But we'll see just where Cheese stacks up amongst these guys as well. Of course, in that Aston Martin, he comes towards these last couple of corners now to start his next timed run. And across the line he comes. So under 11 minutes left to go now, so we're still early on in this session. Long way to go. A number of good cars with yet set times. Of course, Legend's still there in the pit lane. Morty's out there. Sorry, in the pit lane still. Bobby's back out onto the racetrack here. TakeOver did quite well in the finale in Brazil a couple weeks ago for season 5. Looking to try and get his campaign off to a flying start if he can. As there's Michael making his way through. A warm of his tyres, that last little bit on the Ferrari. Coming into that last corner. And here he goes now to start his flying run. Not as many cars out the track now at this point, so waiting for some of the heavy hitters to come back out on the racetrack for their next run. Media said on the track as it stands right now. Just starting the next timed run in that Alfa Romeo. Good to run through these first couple of corners here. Imri just behind in his Mercedes, looking to try and get around Emilia as quick as possible. She's now third fastest there in the running order, just about in front of Fan. And yellow flag, that is the McLaren of, well, that's 10th Cannon, I believe, going a bit slow. Sorry, no, that is Wardy. 10th Cannon just a little bit further back. So two McLarens going out one after the other here. Could some strategy come into play from the Papaya boys? I'll have to wait and see. As Bull Beast on the time lap as well. These two McLarens want to get out of the way quickly because they're weaving in front of us to come towards the split. Bull Beast into that end of the first sector, 28.5, his first effort. So we'll see if we can continue to do here in the second and third sectors. Of course, he's got a big name in this league to compare himself against this season. Be interested to see where he stacks up against the former champion. A lot of good teammate comparisons to be made over the course of this season. In particular, those ones at Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, and Aston Martin. Those are the biggest ones on the grid, the biggest names in the league as of right now. But of course, it will be good to see how, of course, some of the debutants stack up. Of course, Boom Bean alongside Geekin in the Alpine, who obviously was here last season. Watson alongside Tomb. Tomb alongside Tom, sorry. He's making his way through the last couple of corners now to complete his next lap. We'll see what he gets up to. 1 minute 17.6 was his best effort last time round. Potentially looking at an improvement for that here by about a second or two. Up to P6 there, just behind C110P fan. Not too bad at all. His critical skills in the other Alpine reserving tonight goes third fastest. Of course, We see that Geekin obviously not here tonight, so that comparison between himself and Boombean won't get off to a flyer just yet. Of course, the Red Bull pairing as well got there. Jacob alongside Ghost Snipes. Those two both the permanent drivers for this season. Of course, Bulbeast did quite well in that Red Bull. Let's see just what these two can do in it. Jacob's gone third fastest here. These guys are closing in on the Mercedes pair. Have gone largely unchallenged since setting those opening laps earlier on in qualifying. I'm really keeping my eyes on some of these newer drivers here. Oh, and there goes Tom off the track and almost back on. If he'd gone any further backwards, he may have potentially come to blows with the Mercedes that was just charging through there. And I believe that we may have seen Woody make a mistake there as well. He's recovering the car from what may have been some kind of trouble. Not entirely sure it was, didn't quite see it. Lemons, though, coming through, cutting the corner and making his way through to start another lap as quickly as he can here. Unsure. He won't have as much ERS. Minute 16.0 was that lap, of course, invalid. Woody into the pit lane here, 10th cannon continuing on, currently running in P11. His fan puts himself on the front row there. Knocks Imrie down to third place, but Lemon's still in front. Not by much, though. That gap has closed dramatically here. Just 0.02 of a second as it stands. Fantastic stuff. And Lemons, the reigning champion now, right there behind him, looking to try and beat, of course, Fan, one of the other race winners last season. Of course, as I said, Lemons won the majority of them. A remarkable 8 out of 12 races went his way, despite a slow start to the season. After 3 races, he had just 6 points and 2 DNFs. The 6 points coming from Saudi Arabia, which is almost a season ago at this point. A long, long time ago. In terms of that chart for most victories in the TakeOver Racing League, JT still shows the way on 11. Pope and Lemons tied for second place, both on 8. From there, it's Paris 232 former driver down in fourth place with 6. FG out to 4. Denologist rounds out your top 6. He's got 2 victories, tied with Cheese. Fan has just 2 victories as well. A total of 21 race winners in TakeOver Racing League history. Could we see any additions to that this season? There's a lot more new faces, a lot more potentially stronger drivers that once they get settled in could try and take some of these guys on. We'll have to wait and see. There's Legends, currently running in P14 at the moment. Slowest time so far, 1 minute 17.7. It's still quite close though, so I won't put it past him to try and improve on that if he can. I'm not sure what happened. This second text might be a little bit off. He's invalidated there, so that may have been intentional. So I dare say he's going again. Very nice helmet design there on Legends Head, if I can get my words out. Here comes Bulbeast towards the line. He's invalidated on this lap, so it's going again this time around with almost a full tank of ERS. See how he gets on a much emptier, cleaner track. He's got Amelia Surd just in front of him there. Alfa Romeo Joe also on a lap himself, so we won't want to try and get in anyone's way here at this point. Through the first sector, almost 2 tenths down for the Alfa Romeo driver there. Here comes Tommy towards the line. Stays in P10. I believe that he may have been on an outlap there, but the game glitching as it has done for a long time. Imrie going fastest, about 2 tenths there. The new pole position driver going to Imrie. 1 minute 15 on the clock. Amelia Surd now out of the session. We just looked away as soon as that's happened. Let's get perspective here from Bulbeast. POV, it just may have gone down, may have lost it in the chicanes. Now out of qualifying, a second retirement this session to joining Boombean back in the pit lane. Unfortunate for him there. There's Wardy. Yet set a lap time here. 3 minutes to go. I dare say that pit lane we get very, very busy in a few moments' time. keep an eye on what the McLaren can do. His teammate, 10th Cannon, also on his way out from the pit lane. 1 minute 17.2 his best effort, so he's got something to compare himself to at this stage. Wardy invalidating there at the exit of that last chicane, and now backing off to try and get that battery back before his next run. That'd be quite a task. I dare say he'll get it all back in time. Let's go again here. Lemons on outlet, back out in the pit lane. Aston Martin are smoking cheese back out on the track too. I'm keeping my eye in particular on Jacob and Critical Skills. If we see Critical back out the pit lane, yep, here he comes. And Bulbeast now out as well. Bulbeast may have returned in the pit lane, but oh, 10th Cannon crashing there at the exit of the first chicane. Another retiree, another driver who may have just pushed it perhaps a little bit too hard and has paid the price for it. And they may have been in contact with, potentially, was there contact with one of the Aston Martin? Was there contact with Boom? Was there contact with Bulbeast? I'm being told that 10th Cannon almost made contact, but there was no ghosting involved. And there may have been contact between the two of them and have taken each other. So, because we won't point fingers, we didn't see it. Regardless, we'll continue on here. Lemons starting what will no doubt be his final lap here. Imrie waiting for other drivers to come through. Gives out a bit of clean air before he starts his next lap. Currently sitting on pole position, so he's got everything to lose right now. And I dare say Lemons could try and snatch from him with another good lap. Family while starting his last lap. Everyone who is right now on laps. Everyone left in the session currently out on the racetrack set on timed runs. Next car to come across the line is Wardy, who again invalidates and needs a good lap here. Ghost snipes out the session at the stadium section. And he may have just run the car into the wall. Potentially. Imrie into the pit lane. Looks like his session's done. Lemons on his way through the stadium section now, but his lap's invalidated, so we can get back around in time here. And he won't get back around in time. Checker flag now falling. And Michael puts himself in P4 there for Ferrari. That's a brilliant lap set by him there. Number of reserves doing decent jobs so far tonight. Tommy through the last corner, invalidated. Will not have a time to his name for this lap. It'll start 9th at best. Could be as low as 14th. Here comes Cheese towards the line now. He's got 3 seconds to get round to the line, but he may have lost it a little bit out of that last corner. Can he improve? He can. He puts himself to P6. Critical Skills, no front wing on that car. Crucial error from the Alpine driver who's gone tumbling down the order. Michael and Jacob both with valid lap times still to run. Wardy disqualified for going the wrong way. And he may have been backing himself up there. So Wardy disqualified. He's starting last race regardless. Here comes Watson to the line. P9 just behind his new teammate. But it's Imrie then on pole position for the Grand Prix. Fantastic qualifying session here all round. And a great way to kick off this 6th season of TakeOver Racing League action. And now the shortly begins for the start of the race itself. We could see some brilliant action served on hand for us tonight. And there's C110P fans starting in 3rd place. Those two Ferraris could give the Mercedes cars a real run. This could feel like 2017, 2018 all over again. So Imrie on pole position then. Lemons alongside on the front row. Those two set up to kick off their battle from Brazil last season. C110P fan and Michael start together on row 2. Jacob and Cheese on row 3. Critical Skills and Tom on row 4. Watson and Tommy rounding your top 10. So that is the top half of your grid for the opening round of Season 6, the Mexican Grand Prix. We're back with you in a few minutes' time for the start of the race. Right, apologies for the wait, ladies and gentlemen, but we are back again for the Mexican Grand Prix, the opening round of Season 6 of the TakeOver Racing League. We're due to get started at 7:28, but a brief lobby restart we had to go again, so we are now going at 7:40, so it's in just under 3 minutes time, so make sure to stick around. And of course, make sure to subscribe for all of the TakeOver Racing League action from this brand new season, because it's going to be very, very entertaining, so make sure to stick around for that. Of course, a number of new lineups on the grid this season, the most notable being the two Mercedes cars. Orion Lemons, our reigning champion, and Imri, who's a serious contender last season. We're looking at what could be a very entertaining battle between those two Silver Arrows, but don't count out any other teams around them. The Ferraris, the Red Bulls, the McLarens look strong. The Aston Martin team looks like a force. Bold Beast and Cheese in that car. So we're looking forward to seeing what these guys can do, and potentially if Lemons takes 4 victories this season, which is only half of what he managed to get last season, then he will take away the win record from JT for all-time most race victories. JT leads that as of right now with 11 wins to his name. Lemons and Touch Me Pope tied on 8 in second place, so that could change hands this season. JT will need to win some races in order to get into himself, in order to re-establish that lead that he had about a season ago at this stage when Lemons was not around racing in this league. So we'll see just what happens here tonight. 18 cars on the grid, no formation laps. Once 7:40 hit to jump straight into the action once everyone is already up and ready to go. Got more or less a minute to go before we get underway for this one, so make sure to stick around. It's going to be a brilliant race, so you'll definitely enjoy this one. If you are new around here, welcome to the TakeOver Racing League. Fantastic championship. It's been going on for a good number of seasons on this channel. So as I say, make sure to subscribe for all action over the course of the coming season. Right, looking into it, coming towards the start, the final minute before the countdown now underway, as we wait now to find out just who will win this opening round and put themselves on a pedestal in the championship lead to kick this season off. There's 12 rounds to go in this championship. It should be a very entertaining one indeed. Waiting on the drivers to ready up, and then we get underway. The excitement is building here at Nostromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Long run down towards that first corner. Let's just look out and see just if anyone gets caught up in that. You want to be very careful going into turn 1. So good luck to everyone competing in the race tonight, as 7:40 now hits. 30 seconds until the start. No formation lap. I'm going to jump straight into the action because that's how we do in the TORL. And one word of advice to all these drivers: you will not win the race at turn 1. So be careful into that first corner, and good luck to everyone competing this season. Everyone down in the championship, make sure to stick around for what should be no doubt a fantastic race to kick off the 6th season of the TakeOver Racing League. The Mexican fans on their feet in the grandstand as the two Mercedes cars will start at the front row of the grid as the lights come on. 3, 4, 5 for the opening race of Season 6. It is lights out, and away we go. Michael Dixon with the driving penalty ready for a jump start. So poor getaway from 3rd place. He's going to jump up a place, but that's a terrible start in comparison. Imri leads the way as we come towards that first corner. Here comes Michael gunning for the lead here as we come towards turn 1. He's up in front of both Mercedes cars, but opens the door for Lemons to come charging down the inside into turn 1. The field staying nice and clean behind them. Michael takes the lead, then Lemons in 2nd, Imri 3rd. There goes Cheese around, and the Season 2 and 3 champion falling down dramatically now to the back of the field here, down to 18th place. No damage on that car, but with a lot of work to do now. His teammate Bold Beast there in 50th. The McLarens and Astons bringing up the rear of the field as Michael leads. Lemons in 2nd, Imri still 3rd, Watson up to 4th. Critical Skills 5th, yellow flag once again, and that is BT who's gone around, and he may have just taken Bold Beast with him. Bold Beast has no front wing on that Aston Martin, so a terrible start this one for the Astons. Their 4th place qualifier is currently sitting down in 16th, and Bold Beast now at the back of the pack, and with a wing change that needs to be taken place. So, and Tommy now spinning as well. Tommy started inside that top 10, and now down towards the back of the order himself. So 3 casualties, unfortunately, or somewhat casualties for the start of this race. Michael leads, but he'll need to pit in order to serve that drive-through penalty, which has cost him hugely here. Lemons into the last corner in second place. He'll inherit the lead when the Ferrari driver comes in, but he's going to lead the first lap of the season here. It's going to lap number 2. Fantastic stuff here on this first lap. The field starts to settle down a little bit. Watson chasing Limray down the main straight here, using that battery to his advantage. Going to try and make something happen going towards that first corner. Going to look to the outside, trying to make something happen. If he can get close to him in the braking zone, he might have a chance to go around the outside at turn 1. He's a bit too deep. They'd be managed to make it stick. Imrie still there next to him. Come very close to blows, but Imrie holds on to third place. Goes a little bit wide there. That could allow Watson back into the mix as they charge towards turn 4. Lemons getting away in front, about 7/10 clear of his teammate as they come towards 4. Watson going back into line. He'll stay in that 4th position. Fan down 4 place himself, down to P7. Jacob down 1. Critical skills up 2. And Watson crucially up 5 places. What a start. Of course, the drivers gained the most in this first lap and a half being Wardy's. Watson now getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So track limits, as we saw in qualifying, it's a crucial thing tonight with a track that is so easy to run wide and get a warning or a penalty. Has 2 cars now with penalties for different things here. And will Mark come in this time and serve that drive-through penalty? Bobby's back out on the racetrack here, quite worth the pace, 30 seconds back as it stands, as 10th Cannon passes Tom. He may have gone a bit wide there going out of that last chicane. Wardy passing Boombean, because Boombean making his debut here tonight. As Lazy Tom gets a penalty for multiple warnings, sorry. That's 3 seconds to his name. Here comes Cheese trying to fight back. He's already up to P13. And we're looking to try and take Boombean next as Michael sets the fastest up once again. 2 seconds over Lemons and Imrie. DRS now deployed for the first time in this Mexican Grand Prix. We won't see it happening until they come down the main straight the next lap. And Lazy Tom out of the race already. Is he? What's happened there? He may have put it into the wall on the pit straight. Although he may have just retired in the pit entry there. I'm not quite sure what's happened, but Tom becomes our first retiree of the night and of this season, no less. He may have retired going into the pit lane. He's retired intentionally. He's saying no setup on the car, so he's chosen to retire it. BT now the penalty himself. But unfortunate DNF there to kick things off. Michael leads. Legends now the penalty. So that's 4 drivers now in the order with penalties. 3 of them for track limits. 1 of them a drive-through, which we could see served this time. He's got 2.3 seconds on the 2 Mercedes cars. Through the last couple of corners here. Out of the stadium section, Lemons leads Imrie by half second, but we'll have the DRS coming at him. And here comes back onto the pit lane, so the 2 silver arrows will now inherit the race lead as we begin lap number 4 of this Grand Prix, and Imrie would like to go on the attack, but keep an eye on Watson just behind him and maybe even closer to the Mercedes in front than he is to his teammate, and charging towards that first corner. He's going to try and make something happen here. A brilliant run on Imrie as he looks to the outside once again, going towards turn number 1, and Michael falling back through the field as expected, and BT 5-second penalty for speed in the pit lane as Watson this time takes Imrie and jumps into second place, and we'll have DRS now to try and take on Lemons for the top spot. We could see a fantastic battle for the lead here go on as Jacob out to 4th place, defending from critical skills there in 5th, Fan back up to 6th, Ghost Snipes now 7th, Emilia Surd now 8th, iWardy 9th, and Legends rounds out your top 10. Michael rejoins in P14 there, honestly, not too far back, so it's not over for him yet, so long way left to go in this Grand Prix. 36 laps overall to be run here in Mexico tonight. BT and Bulbeast, they're the ones who might be in a bit of trouble. Maybe need to bank on a safety car or 2 in order to get him up into the order. Of course, BT's made a change already, as has Bulbeast, both of them now on sets of medium tyres, as Watson closing in on Lemons, looking to make something happen as they come into the stadium section. As Boombeam further back, passing Legends, who's gone a bit wide there, a bit too deep, and he's a number of cars taking advantage. 10th Cannon goes around the outside, runs a bit too wide there, but rejoins. Perhaps we may have got a warning, looks to the inside, trying to make it work here. Oh, not a lot of room given there by Legends as they make their way through the next couple of corners into the stadium section once more. Michael will try and take advantage of it, but he's got a rearview mirror full of Tommy in the Williams. They charge out of the stadium and into the final corner once again, and back up front. Watson still closing in. Remember, he's on those soft tyres over the 2 Mercedes cars who are on hards as Fan gets around critical skills for 5th place and will start chasing Jacob down now. He's just 6/10 back from the Red Bull in front. Things really heating up here this early on in the Grand Prix. DRS deployed once again for Fan as the back Legends passing 10th Cannon. Cheeseman gone a bit over the curbs over there, trying to take Boombean. He's got a car going wide. That's Cannon in the back there. He may lose another place to Michael. Cheese on the outside, looking to make something happen here into the braking zone on Boombean. He's got the longer run around the corner by the inside for the right-hander. He can use that to try and get rid of the Alpine, try and shake him off his tail. Still side by side here. Good exit from the former champ, and they'll be up into P10, so back inside those points, paying places now after that spin on the first lap. However, it's 3.5 seconds to Wardy in 9th, and a further 4.5 to Emilia Surd in 8th place, who's currently at the back of this train, gunning for the top spot as it stands. Lemons leads Legends now. Time penalty for him for multiple warnings. Yeah, 6 seconds was his name here. 6 for Watson, 8 for BT, and 3 for Bullbeast. Now, do we see Watson try and come back at Lemons here? Fan sets the fastest up. We'll try and take on Jacob here towards turn number 1. It's looking like another move for the Ferrari driver to be completed. And he's right back on it, is C110P fan. There's been a few weeks break before the start of the season, but you wouldn't know it given the way he's been driving so far in this Grand Prix tonight. So good stuff from him. Watson chasing Lemons on those faster, but perhaps not so fresh tyres. Of course, the hard tyres lasting a lot longer than those soft tyres on Watson's car. Michael making another place here. He's just managed to get around Legend, so he's passed both Williams machines here. And we'll start trying to close on Boom Bean and Cheese as Ghost Snipes gets passed by his critical skills. Those two going at it. Ghost to try and switch back here, but not going to get enough room. Not enough for run on the exit at the last corner to try and make it happen. And Bulby's out of the race here, retiring in the pit lane. Another pit lane retiree. I think potentially it may be a bit too much for him to close off, he may have thought. So one of the Aston Martins now out of the race, which is disappointing to see. I'll have to see just what has happened here in terms of why he's retired. Tommy 3.3574, 3 second time penalty. Okay, so Bulbies may have had damage in some way potentially. I'm looking at it. He may have been damaged in that car. He may have retired because of it. Down the main straight onto lap number 7 in this race, and Watson having no luck chasing down that race leader, Lemons, who's kept a solid lead here since taking it. And Bulby's car is just sitting there, the Ghost just sitting there on the track, on the racing line. It's not the best of places to be, considering other drivers are trying to go around him here. Keep in mind the two Red Bulls here, running in P5 and P6, doing a fantastic job as it stands. Good points going Red Bulls' way if they can keep that up over the course of the race. Michael now to try and take on Boom Bean. He's closing in, but Boom Bean has DRS off of Cheese too. Looking to make something happen here. It'll be a bit late to get on the inside. There's contact, and both of them are spinning out there. And that's a bit too late from Boom Bean. That's cost Cheese there. He falls back to 15th place, and I doubt he'll be too happy with the debutant here tonight, as now Legends tries to take on the Alpine into the chicane, but the Alpine gets up in front and will start chasing down the other Williams. He's stuck in a Williams sandwich here. Boom Bean, 3 second time penalty for multiple warnings. And I doubt that Cheese will be too pleased with them at all here. Here comes Imrie trying to chase down Watson, who again will have DRS. What Lemons needs to do to help his teammate is get out of range from that AlphaTauri driver in order to help his teammate get back around him and get some good points for Mercedes here. Problems further back here. I think everyone's okay. There may be something going on, but all okay. Watson running in second place, a bit too wide there. That allows Imrie to try and slide through on the outside, going towards turn 4, and he will get through. Will Fan try and close as well? This could be a three-way battle for second place here. This could get very tasty indeed, but Imrie will be looking to try and close it to his teammate now, who of course is 1.3 seconds to the good as it stands right now. So he needs to close in those few extra tenths in order to get DRS back and not be a sitting duck for these two cars behind him who are on faster tyres at this stage of the Grand Prix, but tyres that are running out bit by bit as the laps trickle by this early on in the race. Watson perhaps under fire here from C110P fan, who look to try and take him on down the main straight, I dare say. It's the same they come. Nice and smooth from all four of these guys who have driven brilliant races so far. For the back here, Smoke and Cheese looking to try and make a move on 10th can. Oh, a bit of a skid there from the Aston Martin off the last that last bit of the chicane. Isn't able to get around him. There goes 10th can, go a bit wide there. Cheese takes full advantage, goes siding up his inside. As you see, Emilia Surd into the pit lane for the first time in this race on the soft tyres, so now that we're looking to make a change. Alfa Romeo crew now getting to work on the first routine pit stop of the season. Of course, we've seen a few already. Bull Beast and BTO in both made stops already. Amelia back out onto the racetrack. Fresh mediums on that car. See how far I can take them. Lemons then. Now, may have made a mistake of some kind because Imri's now right back there with him. Fan now 1.3 back and Jacob 1.8 back. So not quite sure what happened to Watson. He may have made a mistake of some kind. I may have missed, so apologies for that. But down in P5 now, a bit of work to do to try and catch back up. But I dare say we're looking to make that first pit stop of the race here. At least for his AlphaTauri team. His teammate already out of the race. Now, could we see Imri take on Lemons? These two had a fantastic battle in the finale last season at Brazil. Yellow flag here, Legends around in the chicanes, recovers the car without too much issue. The Mexican fans there roaring the drivers on down this main straight as they come towards turn 1. Will Lemons try and break the toe a little bit? I think he maybe trying to. I thought he weaved a little bit down that main straight, but he's okay. Into turn 1. Imri needs a good exit off of 3 here in order to stand a chance against the reigning champion. It's a great getaway from Lemons. And Imri who had to lie in wait behind his teammate despite closing in that little bit longer. So these three now running nose tail, less than a second between them. Watson under fire here from Critical Skills. I dare say we'll see the AlphaTauri say into the pit lane in about a lap or two. Perhaps even this lap, we'll have to wait and see. But right now it's holding up Critical Skills and Ghost Snipes in the Red Bull. Wardy 4 seconds back in 8th place. Michael around Tommy and Boombean here. Cheese now back behind the Alpine. Could we see round 2 between this pair? Cheese will want to get around him quickly. Won't be too happy with the altercation last time round. I went a bit too deep into that chicane there. The leader's down the base straight here. As Watson comes into the pit lane. He's got a 5-second penalty for speeding. That won't help his case at all. Imri closing in even more now. Look how close he is this time. A good exit is needed here for Imri. He won't get it once again, at least compared to his teammate but in front of him. Further back. Cheese take on Boombean. Now for the last points paying place in the running order. And Cheese is closing, but it's not enough right now. Oh, and that goes Boombean running wide, and Cheese taking full advantage. And has DRS now, and let's try and get back away. And I'm getting a sense of deja vu here, because this next right-hander is where Boombean made the move last time, but it's not close to this time. I was trying something like that. Tommy with a 3-second time penalty now. Total of 7 drivers with penalties to their names as it stands. 17 seconds for Watson, 12 for Legends, 8 for BT, 6 for Tommy, 3 seconds for Critical Skills, Ghost Snipes, Merkel, and there's Legends out of the race there. Another retiree in the safety car is deployed for the first time this season. Comes on lap 11 of this race. And that'll be a godsend for some of these guys who are further back who are on medium and hard tyres. Michael taking full advantage into the pit lane now. This could be a move that gets him back up towards the front of the order. So Legends and out of the race, 4 retirees, and Boombean now out as well. What happened to Boombean? Has he retired in the pit lane? I don't believe he has. He may have done. He's out regardless. What's another penalty from there? So Lemons, Imri and Fan, your top 3 as it stands. So I dare say we'll see these three into the pit lane. So Lemons is in, and Imri following him, but backing up a little bit in order to try and avoid too much damage and double stacking. I think they may have played this to a T here, to be honest. Oh, Imri had to stop a little bit. That may cost him just a tad as Ghost Snipes comes in, and he may lose a chunk of time. No, he won't. He gets away quite nicely there. But crucially, Fan comes out in front. So Fan now in second, splitting up the two Mercedes cars. Lemons get through without too much issue. And Michael will not actually gain that as much as I perhaps thought he would. And Watson now retiring from the race too. I don't see his car moving. Has he crashed in the pit lane? It appear not. And last cars come through BT here. So we're down to 13 cars in this race. Well, start to worry to say about how many cars I have to talk about at the end of this race. We're a third of the way into it. It's Lemons who's led the majority of the way so far. So we have 23 laps to go. Waiting now. Waiting now for BT to come through. The last few cars, 4 of them. Cheese, Amelia Third, 10th Cannon, and BT to come through and just join that back to back. But we're going back to racing again. Those down in the chat, if you have any predictions as to who's going to finish on the podium, what safety car comes in, make sure to leave them down there in the chat box below, and we'll see if you're right come the end of the stream. It should be a very entertaining remainder of the race. It's been quite fun to watch so far. So you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. So a lot of cars here on medium tyres in the running. Well, a few of them are hards. I can see the hards going to the end, but as Michelle's just pointed down in the chat, the mediums, most likely I doubt we'll see them go all the way. I've seen drivers in the past push them to about 20 laps or so. I've seen Pope do that in the RDL on Monday nights. However, how will time management come into play? I dare say BT might just catch up in time for us to go racing again in this lap. And he will. Safety car in this lap. So we're going back to racing now. Lemons backing up the pack. And they'll probably want to try and get going out of that last corner. Fans separating the two Mercedes cars. Taking the Watson roll as they come to the last corner. And Lemons want to try and get away quick here. And he will get away quick. Oh, that's a bit of a skid there. It's not quite the best to get away. It's not quite what we wanted. But still 6 and 5 tenths clear as they come over the line. We're back to racing here on lap number 15 of this race. Everyone single files. They charge down that main straight. Could Jacob look to try and take Imri for 3rd place? Everyone moving out of line now. Lemons weaving, trying to back everyone, trying to back everyone up into that first corner. Fan still there in 2nd. Imri still there in 3rd. Critical skills getting inside of Ghost Snipes here, looking for 5th. And he'll take away 5th spot as well. Good move from the Alpine driver. The lone Alpine driver left in this race. And he'll look to try and move up to challenge Jacob in 4th place. Ghost Snipes have separated from his teammate, but has a rearview mirror full of Wardy. Might go to his inside here, looking into the braking zone. Not going to go for it. Bit too late to try and make a move there. Michael around the outside of him there. Going through the next corner. But I think Wardy's sitting there. Contact between the pair of them. But not by much. Michael is a bit too deep there. Looking to make something happen here. From a drive-through at the start of this race to potentially looking at trying to reclaim a podium position. Or at the very least a points finish. Back up to P7 now. Good move on Wardy. And now we've got the order. BT another time penalty to his name here. In terms of penalties, he's got 6 to his name. 10, so that's the seconds, not actual penalties. It's 8 seconds for Ghost Snipes there, but 3 seconds for everyone else, I believe, if I have another look. No, 6 seconds for Tommy too. Lemons has pulled away to a sizable advantage over 1 lap, 1.2 seconds clear of the order as they come back through. He sets the fastest lap in the process, 1 minute 18.7. That'll be a fastest lap point to his name if things stay how they are. They come down the main straight here. Imri trying to chase him. Trying to chase Fan for second. And Michael trying to chase Ghost Snipes for 6th here. Down the main straight and looking to the inside at turn number 1. Who's going to be last on the stop as they're dead even into that first corner. Maybe a little bit of rubbing there going into turn 1. But Ghost Snipes sticking with Michael on the inside. There's contact between the pair of them. They bang side pods. But Michael gets through just about up into P6. But Ghost Snipes could try and come back at him though. Has to go very late on the brakes and wants to try and make that one work. I doubt he will. Very close between those 2 cars. But it's Michael who wins out, and Wardy might try and make a move here for P7, try to follow the Ferrari up through the order. It's been such an exciting race so far. I do hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am here in the booth. Imri showing the way for the rest of the pack in 3rd right now, but still got 2 cars in front of him. It's Lemons who's showing the way for everyone as it stands. 1.1 seconds in the clear, so still maintaining that same gap from a lap ago. Yellow flag, and that's Tommy who's out of the session. Another debutant who finds himself out this early in the mid stage of the race, and another safety car deployed. Well, well. 2nd safety car in a couple laps. Unfortunate there. We're down to 12 cars. Only 7 of whom don't have penalties right now. 2 cars into the pit lane. That's for 3 cars. So that's Critical Skills, Michael, and Mealy Certain 10th Cannon joining them too. So it's 4 cars. Alpine team fitting on hards. Ferrari team putting on mediums. Mediums on the Alfa Romeo and from the McLaren as well. All 4 cars away without too much trouble. Now, in terms of the 9, so the 8 who stayed out, I'm assuming we won't see too much change in terms of deviating off the strategy they're on now. I doubt they will, but of course those medium runners will have to definitely have to pit at some point going towards the end. So I dare say the fact that these guys have to catch up, not by much, but enough, I dare say we're getting going for lap number 19 perhaps. The Aston Martin safety car then leading us round. We'll have a look through the full order now. So it's Lemons who leads, Fan in 2nd, Imri 3rd. Those 2 have been up front all evening here. Jacob running in 4th, Wardy up to 5th place now. Ghost Snipes in 6th, Cheese 7th, BT up to the 8th now. He's in the points paying places thanks to his pit stops. Critical Skills 9th, Michael in 10th, Amelia Surd 11th, and the 10th Cannon, the last of the running cars, in 12th. So they're still getting going on lap number 19 here. In terms of position change, the driver who's gained the most today is Wardy. He's gained 13 places, starting dead last to being disqualified in the qualifying, and could still see a podium on hand for him come the end of this race, should things go his way. But those 4 cars in front of him there have been tough cookies to crack so far tonight. He's got a real challenge on his hands in order to try and get around them. Not to mention making those mediums go as long as they can. Fan the hards there. I dare say we could see him try and stay out to the end short of a late safety car, which could change things in that respect. And speaking of changes, Smoking Cheese came into the pits this time by and put on a fresh set of mediums. I dare say, again, short of a safety car, I'll be looking to try and take those mediums to the end of the race perhaps. That's half a distance for that set of mediums. Can he do it? Waiting now. Cheese joining up at the back of the pack. And I dare say race control may let us go a little bit earlier than they did last time round. Because Cheese is that little bit closer. So when they cross the split right now, safety car in at this lap. And that's the Martin at one end of the safety car. And one at the other end, that is Cheese. And now Mercedes will lead them back round. Lemons, Fan, Imrie, your top three. Jacob, Wardy, Ghost Snipes, BT, Critical, Michael immediately behind them. That's your top 10. 10th and Smoking Cheese in the back. 10th Cannon, Smoking Cheese in the back, sorry. Going making short names everyone here. Lemons perhaps a bit too deep there for that last corner, but weaving back and forth as he did last time. Now, will he try anything different this time? Or because Fan could be ready for whatever he tries next time. And this time he's a lot closer than he was last time around. And oh, a bit of a skid there from Lemons. Goes way wide off the track. There goes your reigning champion off the racing line. Fan moves into the lead here. And that's not the best of restarts for our now former race leader. Fan shows the way into the second half of this race. A lead change on the restart, but Lemons coming right back at him though. At turn number 1, the two of them go side by side these opening couple of corners. Does Imrie try and sneak in, take advantage? A top 3 battle for the lead here is perhaps brewing a little bit as BT gets around Michael. Critical Skills get around him too. Ferrari down to P9. Lemons back into the lead up front. They're still going side by side. That's it. Going into the right-hander. Who gets the edge in this incredible battle for the top spot? There goes Lemons into the lead. Imrie I thought was going to try it on Fan for a moment, but it's backed out of it at the last second. What a battle that was to kick off this restart. Hugely entertaining stuff here between these two drivers. Imrie will not be satisfied with playing a supporting role here. He'll want the lead. Jacob with a penalty, and BT goes around. And the whole front wing on that Haas is gone. So BT again forced towards the back of the pack. Lemons then leads the way onto lap number 20 this one. 17 laps to go. And Jacob closing on Imrie bit by little bit. It's too deep from straight into turn 1. Again, the same case thing applies to Fan, who without back to the DRS to his advantage may struggle in getting back around our race leader. BT with 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. But he's looking like he'll be carrying on valiantly here. Front wing change and perhaps a set of soft tyres go on that car. Yes! New Red Bull Pirellis and a front wing change. The Haas driver leaves his pit box here. Given the circumstances, decent stop for the Haas crew there. Getting their driver back out on the track as quickly as they can. Just the one Haas car in this race tonight. Regularly we'd see Fouad, who returned from last season in that car. Wasn't able to make it tonight, unfortunately. So just the one, that's BT. Whose full-time debut, perhaps not as swimmingly as we ever expected, but it's not over yet. A safety car, anything like that, could bring him right back in the order and give him a chance at points, given the number of retirees. He's in 6th so far in his first 20 laps. Now, this is where things come back into play in terms of that rear wing DRS redeployed, as Michael goes side by side with Ghost Snipes down this main straight. Both cars, one of them using battery and always trying to get back up in front. There goes the Red Bull around the outside. The pair go wheel to wheel towards that first corner. Will Michael try and sneak back inside? He will at the last second there. Going into the braking zone. Last on the stoppers. Perhaps a bit too deep there. Ghost Snipes might try and cross him over. But he's made it stick and kept his nose clean. And kept it, crucially, in front of the Red Bull. Who may come right back at him when the DRS is redeployed. But he needs to stay close to the Ferrari in front of him. Who'll be too busy chasing down the McLaren, who's 1.7 seconds up the road from him. Wardy keeping pace with these top 4 cars now. Doing a brilliant job here in this midway stage of the race. Lemons still unable to clear Fan by a second. So those two Ferraris sticking right in there. I dare say there's still a chance for Michael to take a podium finish away, despite that drive-through penalty at the very start of this race. Of course, he had built a decent lead over the two Mercedes cars by about 2 seconds or so when he came into the pits. Lemons now for that last couple of corners through the stadium section, keeping things nice and tidy here. continues to show the way. But DRS now deployed for Fan. But will Imrie be close to go for it instead? Michael with the fastest lap to his name, and by the time the next lap might have DRS on Wardy. But Fan though closing in on our race leader. Will he look a bit too late to the inside? It's going to be very tight between them. A good exit from 3 could be the key ingredient to a Fan pass for the top spot as Critical Skills takes Ghost Snipes through turn 1. Penalty for the Red Bull driver, and can't come back at the Alpine because no DRS on his car, unfortunately. So these 4 then showing the way up front. Wardy trying to stay with them here, doing a fantastic job of it. Train continuing on further back. Another train starting to form here, led by Critical Skills. Amelia Third, 10th Cannon, Smoke and Cheese heading up the back of the train. And BT 42 seconds back and needing a safety car of some kind, some form of intervention to the chaos in order to try and get us back up the order. It's been an unfortunate first outing for what looked to be a very strong Aston Martin team on paper. But it's not over yet. I dare say that Cheese can still salvage some points here. I'm going to try and get started with that right away if he can by closing down on 10th Cannon, who has DRS himself. No overtakes made there. Again, the Fan using the DRS to keep up with Lemons. He's doing a fantastic job, but unable to pull away just yet. Cheese passing, 10th Cannon's gone around there at the exit of turn number 3. So Cheese back in the points paying places now as Media Circus a bit too deep going into that last corner. And Cheese might try and take advantage now. Jacob penalty here, and that could help the 2 cars behind him massively there. That'll push him up another place as of right now. Safe Michael has penalties of his own. 3 seconds to his name. And those penalties for the car behind could still save Jacob perhaps a little bit. I think as it stands right now, he'll be finishing no lower than 6th. If Media and Cheese can stay close over the next stage of this race, then we could see those 2 taking some points here. Michael passing Wardy here down this main straight, but could Wardy come back at him though? He's not going to try. He's going to stay in line behind the Ferrari. Trying to keep close to him as best he can. No DRS for him. That'll make his job a lot harder. As there goes Ghost Knights, everyone a bit wide there. Out of turn 2. Cheese passing me a around the outside. Up into P9 now. And right now, could be in a, if he gains another second or 2 on these cars in front, could be in a very good position as it always comes to contact between Ghost Snipes and Critical Skills in front of him. One a reserve, one a full-time driver, but to my knowledge, both debuting in the TakeOver Racing League, if I'm correct. If I'm not, well, it wouldn't be the first time that's happened. But right now, it's Ghost Snipes with the advantage, despite the 11 seconds worth of penalties he's got on that car. And BT into the pit lane, serving perhaps that penalty, or one of the penalties at least, pushing down to 6 seconds, and medium tyres now going in that car. In terms of tyres, let's have a look here. Those mediums, I dare say, are reaching the end of their lifespan for a number of these top 4 cars, but Fan can keep going on those if he wants to. However, if he was taking him to the end, he'd be taking him about 22 laps. BT rejoins. Well, I don't want to stand the way these guys challenging for the top spot. He's right in amongst that train as it stands. He's gone right through a number of these cars here, which could have had the potential to throw him off a little bit. So then perhaps we'd be a little bit annoyed by that, but not too bad. Cheese now looking to try and take one of the Red Bulls. Ghost Snipes, another penalty for him. And Critical Skills are on the outside. Back into P7. The top 6 here really getting away. 6.3 seconds separate Wardy from Critical. As Cheese looks to try and take Ghost here. No contact in the pair of them. Cheese gets through, but Ghost comes back at him though. The debutant trying to go at the champion. And he's going to take him as well. That's fantastic racing there between these two through the chicanes, where it's very tough to overtake, but Cheese could go back at him though. Oh, and there's a little bit of contact there. But fantastic stuff from Ghost Snipes there. Brilliant, brilliant racing. Meanwhile, back up front on lap 26 now. We're nearing the final 10 laps of this Grand Prix. And Fan still struggling to keep with Imri, but still staying in that DRS range. Sorry, Fan trying to keep with Lemons, who's still showing the way. He's done a fantastic job as Cheese now gets around Ghost Snipes once again, but a bit too deep at turn 1. Red Bull could try to crossover, but oh, gets out of shape there, and that could allow Amelia back in on the outside towards 4. Looking to the inside, the pair of them going wheel to wheel into the braking zone. The Alfa Romeo comes out in front, but the Ghost Snipes going to try to come back at Amelia now. Way too wide there. I dare say that would have been allowed to slide. And Fan, now with a penalty of his own. 3 seconds to his name. 4 drivers in the order right now with no penalties to their names. Lemons, Imri, Wardy, and Cheese. So 2 of the regular contenders, plus a few new favourites from last season. Those 2 Silver Arrows, as I say, have been strong all evening. And Lemon's job is made a whole lot easier now as he sets the fastest lap for good measure. That pushes Imri up to second. It could potentially, if Wardy can close back in, it could push up to as high as 3rd. Jacob's trying to take Imri here. And Michael closing in too. As long as Wardy is falling back from these guys, then they will be racing for what looks to be a podium place. Imri has the edge of that right now. Ghost Snipes, 17 seconds to his name now. But still running in P10, but will fall out the points because of Cannon's distance. Okay, despite having 3 seconds of his own, is well within 14 seconds of the Red Bull in front. Fan closing back in on Lemons now. Particularly close in the stadium. But does that gap open up again at the last corner? Not by much at all. Here we go. And Fan will have DRS this time. Is very close to Lemons. Here he goes. He's going to look to the outside here. It's very, very unorthodox from Fan there. But it's made it work. Took the hard way out. I'm told to... Fan leads now. Lemons in second place then. Imri in third. Tim Mercedes car's dropping back all of a sudden here. Fan really getting away. He's already 1 second in the clear. That's a fantastic lap then from Fan on those hard tyres. Okay. On to number 29 now. Fan leading Lemons and Imri. And Jacob under threat from Michael here. Looks to the outside going towards turn 1. Very tight between the two of them. And does Michael try to take Imri as well? I doubt it. He's very, very close between the two of them. Well, Fan needs to pull out 2 more seconds in order to win this race. Can the hard tyres do it? I dare say the majority of these guys on mediums are going to the end on them. And that made their job a lot harder. Lemon's still there in second to try and close back in and prey on a Fan mistake if he can. Just over a second in the clear is Fan right now. Needs to build a bit more of a lead in order to take the win here. As of right now, we're finishing in 3rd place. If he can gain 4 more tenths, then that'll be 2nd place. He'll nick it from Imrie, but still needs a bit more from Lemons. Of course, got to give credit to these guys who have no penalties in this race right now. 4 drivers still. Cheese, Wardy, and both Mercedes cars. One of them being under threat from the Ferrari. He's using his battery in the exit, and DRS as well. This could be a pass for 3rd here. Imrie falling back away. Michael on the outside. But Imrie going right back at him though. Yellow flag for the back there. They've been concepts in those guys. Imrie and Michael still going at it. I think Imrie's may have just got that spot for the time being. Yellow flag. That's BT going slowly there. But not out of the race just yet. He's still fighting. So credit has to be given to him. He's going around racing no one, but still giving it his all here. He's gone to lap number 30. 7 laps to go. Fan now sitting in a net 2nd place. And needs to gain a bit more. He's opening that gap up on Lemons. Michael now closing on Imrie at a rate of knots here as they come towards turn 1. So look to the outside. Imrie gives him all the space in the world on the outside. Side by side into turn 1 again. This time Michael gets through in front. And no DRS for Imrie. So may struggle to defend from the oncoming Jacob and the Rebel behind him. Yellow flag and that's still BT is back up to speed now. Pack of 3 cars. It all goes snaps. What on earth happened there? No idea what Ghost Snaps is trying there. Tenth Cannon right there behind him now. They're trying to swipe away 9th place. BT comes into the pit lane. 1.9 seconds now the gap between Fan and Lemons. But no idea what's happening with Ghost Snaps there. He's lost the car hugely there. And spins it. No front wing on that Red Bull. Recovers the car normally this time because you used the reset track first time round. BT emerged into pit lane, fastest lap. Perhaps now on his sights there. Ghost Snaps now out of the race. No safety car though. Things continue on. Fan now 2 seconds in the clear, but needs a bit more. 1 more second in these final 4.5 laps. Fan needs a bit more here. Imrie chasing down Michael again. Cheese now gets a penalty. Michael with a penalty too. Just 2 cars left in this thing now with no penalties. Those being Wardy and Lemons. No real gain from Fan here. May have locked on the tyres a little bit there. That won't help his case. Definite smoke there. May have just locked up a little bit. If Lemons can keep it calm and controlled here and avoid any penalties of his own, then he'll win this race. There's no real threat behind him in terms of cars that could potentially beat him in this late stage. Michael, Imrie, Jacob, Wardy all dropping back. His main focus is just keeping within 2 seconds of Fan, who's pulling away now. Fan that bit faster. Three laps to go. The gap back down to back up to 2.3 seconds. 2.4 now. These guys on very warm medium tyres, taking them perhaps further than they really should. BT fastest that now in this possession. Now, if we see one more retirement in these last 3 laps, then BT after all that will end up claiming points, which would be fantastic for him here. After the race he's had, brilliant stuff from him. It just shows the perseverance in league racing would definitely pay. Cheese passing quickly, skills goes around. No front wing on that car. And that's a horrible late blow there for the Alpine, who are most likely finishing 10th place as it stands right now. Fan needs another half second in order to win this race. Two to go. This opening race has been absolutely fantastic, and we could see a bit more late drama that will go right to the line here. Fan needs half a second. In terms of penalties now, here's the situation. Imrie is looking at 3rd place as it stands. And Wardy is looking, potentially, if he can get a little bit more, he could be looking at maybe a 4th, 5th, or maybe perhaps even 3rd place finish if things would go his way. He needs 2 good laps here. Critical skills into the pit lane now. .4 seconds now the gap is Lemons closing in perhaps a little bit now. A penalty for Lemons to set him all the way back here and put the race out of question, I dare say. That gap's increasing again. It's up to 2.8 now. Look how close things are. Well, it's essentially a race for the lead here. 2 tenths separating them as we come on to the final lap of this race. And behind them, if Imrie was to get another penalty, then these three will be dueling for the podium place on the final lap. Unless they make a mistake and Wardy can catch him. He's 14 seconds back from the lead. Final lap now, this race for Fan. And I tell you what, this gap's going to be mighty close when it comes down to it at the end. Behind them, the 3 cars further back, all quite separated here. Imrie looking at 3rd place in the running order, and Fan is now over that 3-second gap, but not by much. Lemons still right there. No mistakes to be made from this Ferrari driver on this final lap in order for him to win this thing. He needs to keep it within the track limits, and he needs to keep it over 3 seconds, which he is narrowly over right now. Can we technically count this as a photo finish? It's looking like one right now. Fan's been particularly quick through this section of corners. He gains another 2 tenths. That might just put out a question short of a late mistake. Here comes Fan now. I've always said it. Every time his wins, the ones that are best achieved in chaos. And whether you can call this chaotic or not, as the stadium section rose to greet him, the Mexican fans, the main straight will, as Fan comes through to take the win for the first time this season, the first winner of Season 6. Lemons home in second, bins the car on the last call for good measure. Kicks off his title defence in second. Imrie takes third. Michael comes back from the drive-thru to finish fourth. Jacob in fifth. Wardy will come home in sixth in the end, unable to catch any of those guys late on. Cheese taking away 7th place after a meteoric drive from him. He's been all over the shop today. It's been quite a mad one for him. 10th Cannon will come through to finish in 8th place. The last couple of points on hand. Oh, 10th Cannon a bit loose there at that last corner. Could Amelia close in? Not enough. 10th Cannon home in 8th. Amelia 9th. And Critical Skills with the last car to finish in 10th place. BT puts the car on the wall. 11th, unfortunately. But a brilliant drive from him regardless, because he went all the way to the end despite having nothing to fight for, in the hope that things could turn out his way. But Fan wins then by less than a second. He's your first race winner of Season 6 as the Ferraris follow each other home in formation. And just to show the Mercedes cars, perhaps this season it won't go all their way. 3rd TakeOver Racing League victory for Fan in his career. Wardy takes in-game driver of the day. I'll have to talk to these guys after it's been an absolutely fantastic race. So the celebrations begin then. Ferrari then will lead the 2 Mercedes cars home. On the top step of the podium, it's very, very close, but it's Fan who comes out on top in the first race of Season 6. And make sure to stick around here. We're talking to these guys after what was a brilliant, brilliant fight. All race long, these top 3 going at it. Brilliant racing all round, and a sign of things to come over the course of this season. So we'll look into the final results in the race now. After a fantastic, fantastic Grand Prix. Fan then wins it. Lemons in 2nd, Imrie 3rd. Michael takes 4th, so Ferrari, Mercedes, Mercedes, Ferrari in that respect. Jacob home in 5th, brilliant race from all round, really, really solid stuff. Wardy gains 12th place today for a 6th place finish. Cheese in 7th in the end. 10th Cannon 8th. Amelia 3rd, 9th. And Critical Skills rounds out your top 10. It's BT 11th, Ghost Snipes 12th, Tommy 13th, Watson 14th. And then behind them, Boom Bean, Legend, Bull Beast, and Tom rounding them out. So that is your race then. And make sure to stick around now for the interviews, which we'll try and get in with all 3 podium finishes if we can. Make sure to leave your post-race thoughts here down in the chat below. Alright, so we're here now waiting for the top 3 drivers we can, get as many of them in as we possibly can before we get going with interviews. After what I say, it was no doubt a fantastic, fantastic race, a brilliant way to kick off this 6th season of competition. By the sounds of it, I know to get Imrie, but we'll try and get the other 2 if we can. We'll be able to get Fan in just a moment. So brilliant, brilliant stuff here. I do hope you guys enjoyed this race as much as I did. We'll talk to two of those podium sitters, potentially just the one. We'll see what Lemon says. I'm seeing a lot of different wing choices down in the Discord chat here. Lemon's running 23.11 on the wings. Fan doing 18.14 in the end. That appeared to be the winning call. A tough race for a lot of these guys today. Many, many retirees. We've got Lemons here with us. Lemons, welcome, mate. We're getting started with interviews in just a moment. We're waiting for Fan as it stands. And we've got Fan in as well. Yep, hello, Lemons. And we've got Fan as well. Fan, you there with us, mate?
Hello, mate.
Okay, right, so Unfortunately, we can't get Imri in. It says his mic's in the grave, so I have to start with Fan here, of course, won the race. Congratulations, mate. First win of the new season, third win in your career. Talk us through it. Quite a fantastic race.
Yeah, it was a tricky one because you probably saw I had just about the worst start I think anyone could have. I think I was down to probably 6th or 7th after the first lap. And then I was just sort of picking my way back through after that and managed to catch Lemons and Imri. I was a bit disappointed, to be honest, because my pace, even on the old mediums, was feeling pretty good then, although Lemons would probably correct me. They were probably just saving their ERS, sorry, not really pushing too hard. But yeah, and then the safety car came and I was I could have done with it earlier, I was thinking at the time, just so I really had a tyre advantage over Lemons and Imri. But it came out with sort of the first time with sort of 21, 22 laps to go. And then when it came out again, I thought they'd be able to get them to the end. But yeah, after that, it was just about hanging on as best I could to Lemons and then taking advantage when the tyre sort of advantage switched.
Yeah, of course, the strategy definitely played a part in the race win today in terms of tyres in that respect. Of course, we've always seen you go for a different sort of strategy to everyone else in terms of those tyres. Is that a trend we're going to see continue over the rest of the season?
Oh, 100%. If we'd had a safety car lap 5 onwards, I could have boxed and gone to the end, and the guys starting on hards couldn't. So it's just, yeah, I'd rather not gamble with that. So I'd rather just, if I can take the cheap early pit stop and go to the end, then I'll do it.
Fair enough. Of course, you got that penalty late on as well. So was there any sort of element of fear there? Perhaps you might lose out to Lemons in the closing couple of laps there, because it was very close between you two. It was less than a second at the end.
Yeah, it was a bit of a stupid one, to be honest. I think I got 2 warnings in like the first 2 laps, so then I was having to sort of be careful for the rest of it. But then once I sort of got that final warning, I could just push and sort of not have to worry about making one mistake and getting a penalty. I didn't think I was going to pull the gap, to be honest. I did sort of wonder what happened to Lemons, but obviously he's mentioned that his tyres fell off a cliff, so I was just about able to pull that gap. But I especially the last couple of laps, I was really pushing and I was making a few mistakes, but managed to get away with it.
Alright, okay, of course, last question for you. Next week's race, Belgium, Spa-Francorchamps. How is Spa's track for you? We're looking forward to it next time out?
We'll see. This sort of track, sort of Mexico, USA, Great Britain, anything with sort of Japan, they're more my sort of track. Anything with sort of quick changes of direction. I'm not quite good enough on the throttle for places like Belgium, so we'll see.
Alright, fair enough. Well, congratulations to him. We'll come to Lemons now. He finished in second place to Lemons. Good racing, mate. Really brilliant stuff there. Is that a good enough start to title defence?
Well, first off, I want to just congratulate Fan. I mean, great race driven by him. But yeah, it just didn't go my way today. Me or Imri's way. We had a big game plan, but it couldn't happen with that safety car. So yeah, I wish I got the win, but we move on. We'll see what happens next time.
Yeah, well, I had to continue, because it was mighty close. You did drive a fantastic race all evening, so you got nothing to be disheartened about there. In terms of that tyre strategy, like I asked Fan a minute ago, of course, the late race you were on those mediums. Was it perhaps worth changing to that second safety car, perhaps, or is it too big a risk on track position?
I mean, no, the cars were too bunched together at the second safety car, so I would have lost too much track position for it to be worth it. I tried to get the most out of those tyres that I could, but once they hit about 40% where they were completely dead, I tried to gap Fan, which I did for like 1 lap, then he came straight back. I tried to gap him, so I used all my ERS, and then that's the moment that my tyres just completely fell off, so he came straight back at me and I had no ERS to defend with it. So yeah, it wasn't the best decision, because, well, I wasn't to know that the tyres would fall off so drastically, but yeah, you live and you learn.
Fair enough. Chris, you said you and Emery had a game plan. Is there any part of that you can tell us here on stream?
No.
Top secret, yeah?
No, you'll see it unfold throughout the rest of the season, I'm sure.
I'm sure it will, yeah. Of course, I say towards the race final, I had that penalty. You did a great job not getting anywhere as well, by the way. Were you struggling towards the end there, trying to push it to get those last few tenths on him? Because of course it came down to about 8 tenths.
Yeah, I mean, warning wise, I was fine until after the second safety car, where I think, did you see on the second restart where I just had a complete wobble and fan flew past?
Yeah, we did do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, my tyres are not amazing at that point either. So I was proper like sending it, trying to gap fan again. I got 2 silly warnings, and I was just trying to be so careful for the rest of the race. But through that tricky sector 2 section, fan was just lightning, and pushing through there is crazy. So I was trying as hard as I could not to overstep the mark. But yeah, it was 8 tenth gap in the end. But I think with about 3 corners to go, it was still about 2 tenths. So it's just a shame with the tyres today. That's it.
Yeah, no, I understand. I do want to talk to you last question about the rest of the season in general. Are we looking at perhaps another 8 race victories that we got last season? Because of course you can take the win record if you win 4.
No, that's not happening. That is not happening.
You're not too far off JT in terms of the charts. I mean, he's on 11th, you're on 8, so it's right there for the taking for you.
I mean, yeah, overall, but not in one season. It's not going to happen. The overall still to play for, I suppose. But JT's back racing now, so that number's only going to go up.
Essentially, I mean, it's up to you to try and stop him. So, congratulations on podium finish, and hopefully we'll see you guys back here next week. I'll leave you guys go off and do whatever you do after the races.
Yeah, I'll be watching you in a minute. So.
All right. I think you guys coming along, so we'll see in a bit.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
No worries.
GG's Lemons. Just before you go, it was actually quite nice that we got to go wheel to wheel a couple of times today. It didn't really happen last season, which was weird.
No, it was brilliant. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
I tried to go for a bit, aggressive in some of them.
Well, I sort of took one out of your book when you were trying to pass me. Normally I'm a bit too passive, so I thought, go on, we'll go for this today.
No, good stuff.
Very sportsmanlike for you guys. Do appreciate that. Like I say, we're all sorted here. So yeah, if you guys want to head off and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
See you later.
Yeah,
See ya.
See you in a
Bye.
bit. Right then, that was a very sportsmanlike pair of Fan and Lemons. Unfortunately, couldn't get Imri in at the end there, but hopefully we'll try and speak to him later on as the season continues. Right, so that is the end of the stream. I hope you guys did enjoy this one. Mate, if you're new around here, make sure to both subscribe to this channel and go check out the TakeOver Racing League Twitch as well. I'll leave a link to that down in the description below, so be able to go check it out for any future race. We'll have Dara back next week, hopefully, in order to keep him with the commentary, keep it rolling over on the Twitch. So make sure to go follow us there. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, as I said, and make sure to stick around because it's going to be an absolutely fantastic season. If you guys do stick around for it, it'd be so greatly appreciated by everyone involved. Make sure to keep an eye out for any shorts later on during the week. Until my next race here, you guys, I shall see you then. Have a good weekend,